jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. Jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show.
Join us as we cover many an insane movie and numerous cult TV phenomenons. Are you ready to get jacked up? Are you with us? Then listen on.
Listener discretion is advised. It's a jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. Jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. Jacked up review show.
And welcoming to the show for another exclusive interview, Mortal Kombat style. We got Adoni Maropis, best known as Quan Chi on Mortal Kombat Conquest, the scheming Faid on 24 Season 6, and who you might also know for his supporting roles in Troy, Alfie, Scorpion King, and The Last Ship. We are to welcome another just iconic video game voiceover artist and martial artist. Mr. Maropis is here in the studio with Timo, Mark, and I. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm good. I'm not sure if I should correct you. My last name is Maropis, but
Maropis. Oh, shoot.
Maropis actually, no, it's okay. Maropis sounds actually better. It's stronger. So, I think that's a pretty cool intro. I have to go right into a story since you said that, because I did the Wild West stunt show at Universal Studios, years ago.
Yes.
And I did the show because I love the athleticism, the cowboy, the comedy, the stunts. But I knew that I would have to do this big high fall right from the roof, get shot and killed. I'd be the man in black.
Geez.
So anyway, when you do these shows, you have all these backups, right? So you have like 10 guys backing up each character. And so the first teamers I felt bad for, because if someone had an audition, someone else would come in, and then sometimes you have to go way down the line. Now, I wasn't way down the line, but this one guy who was the oldest in the group, maybe, not as quick, as he was 20 years before, whatever, great guy. When I did the high fall, the last thing in the show, and he introduces everybody, he says, and doing that amazing high fall, Adoni Marois. The crowd went crazy. And I went, oh my God, so I just waved, and my dad and my parents were in the audience, and I looked up at them, and they were like looking at me like, what was that? And so
should we know who he is? Well, we do now.
Yeah. So backstage, he comes up to me, he goes, oh, buddy, man, I'm sorry. I said, no, keep it. I said, I got the biggest applause. So from that point on, I was Adoni Marois.
Wow.
So it's okay. It's okay. I called, when I worked with Viggo Mortensen in Hidalgo, I called him Viggo. I called him Viggo for like the first week. And finally someone said, Adoni, it's not Viggo, it's Vigo. I said, oh, he never corrected me.
Oh my goodness.
He's that kind of, we really rode horses side by side for hours.
Yeah, didn't you say in an earlier interview that you had to learn how to, like a bird handler had to show you how to actually have them land on your arm?
Everything. I didn't know how to horse ride. I was terrified. I almost quit because they gave me the hardest horse to ride.
It's not in the contract before you sign it.
Yeah. They put you on this little kind of pony kind of thing, that doesn't do anything. Then they put you on the Cadillac, and it's like, oh my God. And that thing, I never fell off, never did. But I held onto the fence one time, and I said, I don't know if I want to do this. And I was telling the horse trainer, I said, this isn't worth it. I'm going to kill myself. But I hung in there. And it was an amazing journey. I was an expert horse rider in 2 months, and falconeer in a sense. Amazing, really amazing. But it was harder to learn Viggo's name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just a very pleasant guy. And he's got, in my respect, personally, even more when he's at the awards table and he saw how the ones who hadn't been winning awards would get like the back tables, and he decided, no, this isn't a favoritism thing. I'm going to sit in the back with all the other guys who didn't win anything, because this isn't about popularity. This is about, we're all coming here to honor each other. This shouldn't be, you know, what the media makes it out to be. And I was like, that is awesome.
Well, see, now you got me talking about Viggo, because that's the way he was. You know, we had 2-hour lunches because he refused to cut line in front of extras or anybody. And usually when you're, you know, one of the leads, like they're always saying, Adoni, you got to, I'm like, sorry guys, you know, they got to get me through here. You're going to get me through, you know, whatever, hair, makeup, whatever. But with Viggo, everybody, all the producers had to wait. So we had these 2-hour lunches. Now, was that a good thing? I don't know, but that's the way Viggo was. And the greatest compliment I ever had as an actor, as a human being, was when I was sick as a dog on Hidalgo. And the nurse actually stayed in my room with me and taking me to the bathroom. I'm throwing up, blah, blah, blah. And my horse broke free at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And who's out there chasing my horse? Viggo, right? So her walkie-talkie goes off and says, Viggo's out chasing a horse. Someone, you know, stop him, whatever. And she turns to me and she says, that Viggo, you know, he's got to stop that. He has to realize that, you know, if he gets hurt, the whole production goes down. And he said, and she says to me, she goes, you know, the only reason he's doing that is because he's trying to be as nice as you, Adoni. And I went, what? And I wasn't sick anymore. I was like, what? What did you say? I said, you don't understand. I said, that's the greatest compliment you will ever say to me. I said, we both were feeding our drivers at the time. They weren't feeding our drivers. We'd steal food and give it to them.
Oh, no.
But Viggo was this guy from the moment I met him. He was this guy that was just doing things like that. And for her to say that to me, I said, you are completely wrong. That's the greatest compliment you ever give me, but that's a Viggo. That's the way he is. He will sit with anybody, talk to anybody, welcome anybody. And I try to be like that too, but I've never seen anything like him. He is a great actor, but he is even a greater spirit. He is like the sweetest like man you will ever meet.
Oh, 1,000%, man. And you've done so many different productions, every kind, and you just have this very magnetic persona where it's just, we never, I don't know if you're familiar with Andrew Divoff, the Wishmaster.
No, I'm not.
Okay, he's the bad guy in Toy Soldiers and one of Gary Oldman's henchmen in Air Force One. Okay. But he just has that kind of persona. You never know what aura he is until he unleashes it. And you kind of got that similar predicament where he played all these anti-heroes, all these guys with secrets to unleash, and we never know. Like, even on Chuck, you're a bad guy, but you're a very funny, you know, key main henchman. And Criminal Minds, same deal. You're the main bad guy of that week, but, you know, you weren't. It was so many layers to it before we get to the end of the tunnel. And
thank you.
I know you featured this on your website, but that was actually my intro to you. You were featured in Entertainment Weekly as like, meet the new Criminal Bad Minds villains of this month. And
you found that?
I did. My uncle had Entertainment Weekly back in the day, and I would always read it for the music editorials and what have you. And it's just like, you had a very intense interview. And then I just got even more inspired when I saw you on CNN talking about how your father had survived a terrorist attack and how you implemented a lot of that hurt and distrust into your Faid character. And my friends knew you definitely from the Mortal Kombat show. You're like, hey, one of the best villains ever, along with Kerry Tagawa. No.
Thank you. Well, it's funny you mentioned that Entertainment Weekly. They put me in their magazine a few times, but that was the first time I recall. No, sorry, was that the first time? Anyway, they
one of the few.
Yeah, it was the first time, and I just remember going there, and all these villains. Right, we had like 5 villains at the time, and everyone had, you know, PR people there, makeup people there, hairstyle, like everybody had an entourage, and I was the only one there by my lonesome. You know, it was like, here I am.
I was afraid to come near you.
You know, I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like all these people. It was like, wow, you know, okay. But
well, and like all these other villains, we actually do feel sorry for you when you are abused. You're much like many of the villains on Oz, where you're able to do the impossible, where we see it from your side. You know, so Quan Chi, he has all this angst and hurt. And I mean, when you're beaten up by the racists on that one episode 24, is like, we feel sorry for you for this one moment. You killed millions, and we feel sorry for you because, like, that's still wrong. You should not beat someone to death, even how.
It's amazing you say that. My dad used to look on the websites, and he says, "Look, I'm reading here, and it says, are you guys finding that you're pulling for Abu Fayed and the 24 to win to survive?" And I was like, really? I got people rooting for me, huh? That's
the fans
good.
used to be pretty toxic, but they've kind of come around. They all have their favorites, whether it's Tony Todd in season 7 or Dennis Hopper in season 1. And I think it's all a matter of, because you guys are very much like the diehard villains, where there's more than just money or politics to it. It's a very personal vendetta every time.
It's a personal, and I think the more you sort of humanize someone,
You have to.
to it, then that's why, to me, I think they still say that Spider-Man 2 was the greatest, superhero movie of all time. It's because of Alfred Molina. He was amazing. He's amazing in that.
Yeah. One minute he's terrifying. The next minute he's very cunning and darkly humorous, like Frankenstein.
And emotional, and he's all these things. He's a full character. He's not a cartoon character. He's not a mustache twirling bad guy. So. Anyway, that's
1,000%. I'll let Timo and Mark ask a few questions. One of my, and I know you're very proud of this performance, you've stated before, but one of my favorite performances by you, and I wish more people could have seen it. It briefly played on HBO after Warner Brothers bought it, is the Tarantino-esque crime comedy you were in, The Gristle, where you starred alongside and Michael Dorn from Star Trek. It's an hysterical, batshit crazy movie. And again, there's so many components to it. It's making fun of trafficking. It's showing bigoted criminals all reluctantly doing business with each other. It's a hell of a movie. And you're just so hysterical as the inspector who's got some secret.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to be funny, but it ended up where my character was pretty funny. So they were happy about that. I love, I don't know, to me, an actor, a true actor can do anything, and they love creating. And to me, being able to do comedy, that's why to me, Meryl Streep is the greatest actor ever. She can do anything and everything. And I'm not Meryl Streep, but I can sing, I can, do comedy, drama to the extremes. And, so that's not necessarily good. I remember when I was with a manager one time, and she said to me, because she represented Jean Reno, and I love Jean Reno. The Professional is like the greatest movie of all time. And I can imitate Jean Reno. I can do Jean Reno. I can do Jean Reno better than Jean Reno does Jean Reno. But she said to me, she goes, Adoni, she goes, you're so much more talented than Jean Reno. But Jean Reno is just so good at Jean Reno. It's like he's so good at being himself in a sense. And I thought about that. I was like, yeah. And nowadays, that's what they want. They don't really want you to stretch. You gotta. It's a different beast these days. Completely different beast. Unless you're.
The minute you make an impact, they kind of want you to stay in that zone before you deviate. And when I saw you on the indie Lazarus Rising, I was like, okay, once again, you're still kind of in villain mode, but again, you're still. Surprise is your greatest element. You never know your true underlying nature until you get through the entirety of the runtime. And so it was just so cool that you're still able to play these guys. They got their baggage that they're eventually going to unleash, and the viewer makes of it what they do. But I mean, like you said before already with Timo, how you had to, market your look to the modeling and acting agencies, and they see something in you that you may or may not necessarily see in yourself, and then you're trying all these different accents and impressions, and that works in your favor.
Well, it did. Anymore, it's weird. It's like I said, it's a different beast now. So
people will now pick up on stuff more to where it's just like you don't know if they're the nitpicking generation or.
Well, now what I'm saying is you can't play. I can't do Hidalgo now. And actually, I had to fight to do it back then. My dad had to write something up about me being Middle Eastern and things like that. So,
wow.
But I'm Cretan. We're from the island of Crete. Crete's got everything in it. My dad's nickname when he was a kid was Blackie because he was so dark. And it's like we're right there. Everybody wants to be a part of Crete, so it's been conquered many times over. So we got everything in us. But you can't do that anymore. It's like, you got to be this and you got to be that. You got to do whatever. So it's a little, like I said, it's a little different now. And
You don't know how much of it is you could do the role, but someone will still be offended or.
well, they won't even let you do it now. Mostly, like I said, if you're Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt or someone, you can do whatever you want to do. But the lower roles and all that, it's you got to be Middle Eastern, you got to be Hispanic, you got to be Arabic. It's a little different. So you have to go to the low budget features now and things like that. Kind of spread your wings, and that's what I love.
I definitely applaud you for that because you've been in some acclaimed indies like The Deviants and Close Call, and it's like you're able to do that in between other big blockbusters like Bad Company. So it's like
yeah, I've done a few. I need to do more probably.
Whatever works, my dude.
Yeah.
So Mark, I'll pass the torch to you.
Well, hey, thanks for joining us, Adoni. It's nice to have you on here.
Hey, Mark. Good to see you. Good to hear you.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh gosh, yeah, the room. Yeah, yeah. Like we were just talking. Hey, let's do like a Mortal Kombat kind of themed one about 30th anniversary and stuff. And I said, let's try to get somebody on that's been involved with one of the Mortal Kombat, whether it's one of the games, movies, TV shows. There's been so many different forms of media. So, and then Cam was like, hey,
the character was made even better by Adoni, to where like Adoni noted before, is like they definitely found similar voice actors to the persona he put on, for future incarnations of it. It's just
I was listening to the RealmKast interview you did, and
great job on that once again, Timo.
Yeah,
thank you.
You guys have had a lot. I gotta listen to more of those in my spare time.
Hey, I got a shout out to Timo. Hey, Timo, I heard your voice.
Hey, Adoni, it's good to hear from you again.
He lives.
You're the only one that I know is actually a living, breathing thing. That's
true.
I've met you.
Yeah. Me and Adoni have actually hung out in real life, so
nice.
So it's good to talk to him again.
Yeah, sorry, Mark. I just had to say hello.
Oh no problem.
My buddy. Timo's my buddy. Go ahead.
I guess Cam and Timo messaged each other, and he said, "Hey, we can get Adoni Maropis on here," and
everyone else is
great.
Busy,
Okay, Mark, I got to stop you one second. When you talk, the name Antoinette pops up on my screen. Now, why is that? Is that?
Yeah, that's.
I'm starting to think that your voice isn't quite right. How you asked me how your voices were at the beginning. I think you're a little off now. Are you?
It's
Antoinette is my wife, so
okay.
So I'm using her laptop. I'm using her laptop.
Are you glad you asked?
Her name pops up.
Okay, I just thought you guys were throwing me curveballs here to see how you handle it.
We are deceptive.
But she'll find that
fight on you. Oh shit! Oh man.
Anyway, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry, man. You're not.
No. It's all good. This is like a casual. The few times, it's Cam's show, but the few times he's had me join him, it's been fun, casual,
Yeah.
Just having a good time.
We admire who, we can't do your job. You guys, you own it. So, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier, like
I can do improv, but
Jean Reno is a great actor, but
Jean Reno.
I can't see him portraying Quan Chi. He doesn't have the right look.
Well, if you wanted, a Jean Reno Quan Chi, you would get a Jean Reno Quan Chi, right?
If you want, he might do it, but it's going to be 300 million before he says yes.
Yeah, exactly. a lot of lines there, Jean.
Do I get to use my French Spanish mixture accent? Okay, sure. You got it. Just don't call me French.
The story you told about Viggo, it just reminded me of this thing I had heard a while back about Sammo Hung when he was on Martial Law.
Yes. Oh my God.
And there was something about he was using the bathroom and the toilet paper was gone, and so he replaced the rolls. And then the production of the TV production got mad at him and said, "Oh no, you can't do that. You're the star of the show," or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny.
It's like, I'm sorry, I'm doing your job for you. Everyone with respect.
Yeah, they've stopped me so many times. Adoni, you can't do that. You can't help. You can't do this. I'm like,
It's just weird. It's like, if I'm making you look bad, don't get angry. Do your job.
Yeah. No. It's just, you see something, you want to just do it. And
Yeah.
it's like, if I can grab my own Coke or grab my own food, I do it, but if I can't, then yeah, if you want to bring it to me, that's great, but I can do this myself. I can do that myself, so
and
whatever.
It goes both ways. It's just like teacher should do a good job with the class they're teaching, and the students should actually want to learn. Obviously not everyone's, there's going to be class clowns. That's part of life. But I mean, I've been an extra, and I would see it all the time. I'd see extras who'd be like, hey, because I posed with so-and-so, or the leading man, got my number after this show, I can be a star. I'm like, yeah, but do you have the mentality for it? Do you have the maturity?
Well, the thing is, the extras, everybody is so important on a set, everybody. And you got to respect everybody. You don't want to have people feeling like they're just cattle. You're moving here and there.
Exactly.
Everybody is so important. But then again, a lot of times when you give respect to someone, they kind of move in and want to tell you how to do your job, or
unfortunately, yes,
or things like that. It's like it's like that sort of thing happens, or someone's like, oh, I can be an actor. What's so hard about that? You deal with those and you try to handle it. But anyway,
like you said earlier, is like, yes, there are some people just because of the investor alone, they got hired, even though they might have been miscast or might not give it their best moment on film. But like you say, it still demands some kind of respectability to each other. And if the director is going to ask you inappropriate questions, or cast members are going to try too hard to upstage each other, then it is going to get pretty intense.
Yeah. So. But anyway, listen, I feel bad. Mark has not asked me a question, I don't think. The truth is, I don't think Cameron asked me a question either. I think I just went right into it.
I apologize. I've been too much complimenting, but one question that does need to be asked. So like, again, Timo filled in the blanks on just so much of what you put into your vocals and everything.
Yes.
Did you have a particular acting coach or mentor besides your father who just really incorporated a lot of your signature styles?
No. I just, when I was a kid, I used to just imitate all kind of, again, you guys know I'm a type 1 diabetic. I wasn't supposed to live very long. I was, and I realized certain things innately. I think I've been guided throughout this I've been helped by whatever forces beyond here. And I think that it was shown to me, however, that, fitness was a necessary thing I had to do. It was just, diabetics were not surviving at that time. And I realized that laughter made me feel good, but made others feel good. And so it got me, and I just had this sort of natural talent at creating characters and shows. And I would do impromptu shows imitating, the stars of the time, Johnny Carson, Flip Wilson, Paul Lynde. Like I just became them, and that's what my brothers would say, like, how do you do these things? And I would jump into characters, the women too. I'd do women. I'd go at a party and I'd meet some woman, and she'd have some kind of character, and I'd come home and I'd incorporate her into the show, and I would literally, I'd like, wow, I have become this woman. And my brothers would look at me like, how the hell do you do that? So
you study it. You integrate it and make it a part of whatever the character.
Well, yes, but it wasn't really studied. Like with me, it was more like, because my brothers loved doing like bits from movies and shows, and would film it, and would laugh. But I always had the freedom to improv and create. So they would say, we're doing a scene from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and it's hilarious. But I have the freedom, and I'm playing Danny DeVito, and I'm playing, what's his name? The other guy from Taxi.
Christopher Lloyd. Yeah.
I play all the psychos, right? So I get to play everyone, do all these things while my brother's R.P. McMurphy, which is Nicholson, and my cousin's Chief because he's tall. So they play one character, but I play everybody else, that sort of thing. And so I did that as a kid. Yeah, anyway, anybody who lives with me, like any girlfriend or, if I ever have a housemate, if they allow me to cut loose, I am like a silly goofball because I get into all these crazy things. And it's funny because, you know, I think me and Viggo are very similar. He's very creative and he's just out there. He's just silly and goofy, and people don't realize that, you know. Like we had you know, he's just that kind of guy. And so I relate to him. Like I used to draw, I used to, you know, just everything creative. So it was always, to me, the fitness, working out every day, every minute is possible, because again, at the time there was no, you know, the insulin I gave, you know, it was the same shot every day in the morning. My mother used to come in, pull my, you know, stick me in my butt with a needle, right? Every day, you know? And so, I always tell people I thank my mother for my nice ass, you know what I mean? So, fighting it all the time, you know, but anyway, but, yeah, it's, you know, how do you get through that? How did I get through? I don't know. My blood sugars were like 500 to 1,000. That's like, you know.
I think you just had the confidence, really. Like you really just, in any commentary track I've heard you in, any making of featurette, is like, you take it for what it is and you try to just be you. You don't try to worry about what everyone else is doing. You're just like, hey, I'm going to do this.
It's not that easy, but you do.
No, it's not. But I mean,
you stand up and you have to be strong, and you have to, you know, overcome all the time. I mean, just going to school, just sticking it out for an hour of class was torture for me. So it's like, you know, you got to go to the bathroom 2 or 3 times a day when you're in a class, because you know, your sugars are so high. So I got better as the evening went on, because the insulin would kick in, long-acting insulin, and I'd work out, you know, after school, and so that combination would help me. But yeah, so I was always have been more of an evening, you know, or a late person, you know, putting on my shows and all that, and keeping my brothers up for a while until my dad would whistle, you know, and I'll just be quiet. Every day, man, every day I would do these shows in the daytime, you know, when I was really young. And then at nighttime, when I was a little bit older, I would do these crazy shows, man.
You know, your YouTube channel that you have right now, it reminds me so much of basically the type of fun that you're talking about right now, because you still do the Quan Chi character with your niece, and you can tell that you two are just having a hilarious time. Like you had one recently where Quan Chi's practicing boxing or something to get into shape, and I'm just laughing because it's just you having fun and being you, and that's something I love about it.
Giving a character a backstory, how a villain gets into a workout.
Yeah, it's still different, you know, because I've had to hold back, because I want to do all these things, but people, it's tough for them to accept it, you know. It's like, even like when I play ping pong and I meet people and they'll say, like, if they haven't seen me as an actor and they find out, like, there's no way you can play a villain. And when they do, they laugh, like, oh my God, I can't believe you can do that. Like, you're the nicest guy, you're the sweetest guy.
They're just so used to what they see on screen must be the truth. I'm like, well, I told an essence of a character's truth. I didn't. It doesn't mean...
It's tough for people to accept this a lot of times, you know. So I've wanted to do more. I actually showed my agent this really hilarious thing that I did, and he was like, "Wow, Adoni, that just wasn't you." It was like weird, and like he didn't really like it. And I was like, man, it's hilarious, you know. It kind of reminds me, I did this thing one time. Oh my God. They were honoring my father at this convention, actually the Cretan convention. And I did this silly, goofy thing. And it was, I can't even go into it. But it was hilarious. So my brother showed my parents what I wanted them to show at this convention, but it was for people who, you know, the church convention kind of thing. So when he showed them, he recorded it and he played it for me, and live, right, as he's recording it, he's calling me, and my mother is laughing, you know, like a seal, and my dad's going crazy, like laughing like crazy, right? But then my brother says, you know, Adoni wants to show this at the. I was like, no, you're not going to do that. It's like their laughter went, you know, it's like it didn't matter how funny it was. You cannot show this at church. You can't not.
It's got someone's gonna make it.
You know what I mean? So it's like, well, why not, man? It's funny, you know. It's funny. Good grief, people! I swear, man. You know,
you think so many getting into this industry just don't have the positive reinforcement that you had, just nonstop?
Well, yeah, with me, it's a little different. Like I said, I didn't realize that I wasn't supposed to live long, but they knew it. And I found out when I was 40, my brother interviewed me and he told me that I wasn't supposed to make it even close to age 25, and I was supposed to be weak, thin, sick, in and out of hospitals. And I knew that, but I didn't know I was supposed to be dead. So, they just kind of, I think they just wanted me to enjoy my time and, whatever it took, just enjoy.
Well, it's great because they never stopped nurturing you. And
yeah,
I see so many actors who complain about when they got into this, they were treated no different than, say, a circus freak. And it's like, man, that's just so wrong,
Yeah. I wasn't really, I didn't have ambitions to be an actor. I had ambitions to be an athlete. My acting is similar to my athleticism. It's like I can do anything with a ball. Like give me a ball and I can do all kind of things with it, or anything strength wise or fitness. I just was able to do things. I'm kind of showing that now. I was a ranked tennis player. I'm a national champion in ping pong. I'm a U.S. Open champion in ping pong. But I was a fitness freak too, and I still am. So, and now I juggle too. So I can juggle 5.
Sweet.
To me, I want to get everything I can out of myself before I move on to the next side. I just want to create, and it's all the same thing. I create workouts wherever I go. In a hotel room, I'll turn my hotel room into a gym. It's like that. I love creating. Just let me create something. That's the same with Quan Chi. It's like it was like, wow, I can create this guy. However I want, sort of. Now they were scared of what I did at first, but then
they warmed up to it.
It was at least working, and people were most people were liking it from what they got, the feedback they got. So whatever, same thing.
Who do you think has been your favorite filmmaker to have worked with so far that just applauded everything you did, just totally got you?
You know what? Honestly, what's strange is the higher up you go, when you do these big movies with the big directors and, the huge budgets, those are the directors that just let you do your thing.
They leave you alone.
Yeah. And it's like you suggest something, yeah, great, do it. But when you get down to the lower levels, a lot of directors, they think that being a director means they got to be Hitler, and they control everything. And it's like, no. It's like they don't realize that
you're babying us now. Not cool.
Usually the best directors, I think, are the ones that hire the best people and let them play. And then they just kind of direct within that. And they say, okay, I got to get you from point A to point B. And we have this much time. So, can you do this over here? Can you move over here? Can you, whatever. But they let you do your thing. They hired you for a reason, to create. So, but, TV shows sometimes take that away from you because they're cookie cutter things. And
got to stick to the formula.
24 wasn't like that. 24 was amazing. But,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it all depends on who you get, who you happen to.
I think Kiefer Sutherland said in an interview, he's like, man, I thought I was going to get my ass kicked by you.
He said that?
I think so. I recall. It was like, man, because that final fight scene you guys are in is like you're having to throw each other around and then match it up with the stunt doubles in the same, uniforms and what have you. Like,
yeah, we did everything except when I had to fly in the air. But I ended up in the hospital for that. You know that, right?
I actually did not know that.
Entertainment Weekly was there. They did a day in the life of 24, and I ended up, I hanged myself on that chain. I literally choked myself out, and Kiefer had to grab me, catch me, and choke myself out. And it's one of those things. Again, when you become like this character, it's incredible. You can do things as an actor that you would never do in real life. So when that chain went around my neck, and after the 20th take. It felt right. I said, oh my God, this is it. I'm being choked. I can feel it. I'm being choked out. I'm being hanged, Sure enough, that's what happened. Yeah. So, it's tough to, just like De Niro. De Niro gets punched in the face in a movie and he wants that scene to continue because it's real, it's live. And that's how you feel when you're really invested. You're really playing this character, you're really into
part of the life I'm supposed to be recreating, but it's gonna.
A lot of people will stop. A lot of people say, "Oh, my nose," or "Oh, this," but no, just keep it going. This is it, man. This is the one we're gonna use. Sure enough, that's the scene they used. So anyway,
Well, it's only respectable. You got injured for it. They should not just scratch it.
yeah. So
I've seen
anyway.
other people do that. I've seen stuntmen and martial artists complain about how their best take, they, got sent to the hospital. They broke both their legs and no one used it. And you're like, well, what do you need my talent for?
Yeah.
Chris Casamassa, who played Scorpion in the Mortal Kombat movies, and
Such a smart man.
yeah, he ended up playing in the Mortal Kombat Conquest also, and he was telling us the story one time about how Lyndon Ashby, he's an actor and wasn't trained in fighting at all, and actually punched him in the face, and Chris is like, why we stop? And Lyndon's like, I'm sorry. He's like, no, this would have been great. Like, keep punching me.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, the interview you did, Timo, with Brian Thompson, that was so eye-opening. Brian, is this guy who's been a grunt, in The Terminator. He's the alien bounty hunter in X-Files. He's the nicest, gentlest guy ever. And then the stuntman kept kicking his ass to where he's like, okay, well, it's going to get dirty. I am going to actually punch you back now.
Speaking of Annihilation, so maybe Timo can help us out here. I'm not quite sure. See, some video on YouTube that claimed it was the original ending of Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but it was really footage from Conquest of Adoni as Quan Chi mixed up with footage of Shinnok from Annihilation. So one of those BS YouTube videos, but
yeah.
Like, are you aware of who they actually had cast? Because didn't they actually cast somebody as Quan Chi in Annihilation? And
I'll let Adoni talk about this. I might be able to add a little bit more information.
Did already say about this.
Okay, because I heard in your other interview you said that they were considering you to be in the third one, but then it never got made.
I forget right now if it was the second or third. It was the third one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was the third one. Yep.
Yeah. And actually, they invited me to. Maybe I shouldn't mention the names that were there, but there was a few of the directors from the TV show. Just anyway, people that were involved in this movie, and they gave me the script to read, and it was Quan Chi, and they wanted me to play the part. And I was like, wow, and I knew, I'd heard that through cast members that, they wanted to do a TV show with Quan Chi as and I thought, yeah, that makes sense because you can bring all these sexy women, that Playboy.
Can't complain.
But the movie, I was really looking forward to that. And of course that never happened for whatever reason. It didn't happen. And I wish I had that script. I remember looking for it, and Timo came, and I didn't find it. I guess I didn't keep it. It was one of those, I guess I think I read it when I was there. I think they had me read it and ask me what I thought, like things like that. And but it was so long ago, and I wish I could remember it and give you guys more information.
Yes.
That did happen. Yeah.
Something we kind of put together from, having various guests on our show, the RealmKast, was that, there have been a few different script revisions and that sort of thing. But at one point, it seems that, as Adoni says, there were talks about, making the third movie and using a lot of the cast from the Mortal Kombat Conquest series, because everybody there did such a good job. Like even Jeff Meek got asked to come on and possibly play both Shao Kahn and Raiden again. Yeah. So, and then Adoni being Quan Chi, and then of course, as Adoni said, there were talks of a spinoff. Like there was so much planned for that third movie, and then eventually that script kind of evolved and became a completely new type of reboot thing with a completely different focus, which director Meek ended up getting picked up for. And
he was so cool. Another guy who's just been on all kinds of productions and keeps coming close. And then each time someone just says, "Oh, I don't want to spend this amount of money on it." And it's like, good grief, you're this close. Just keep at it.
I know, but
I'm just saying, keep going.
It's interesting because the third Mortal Kombat movie, it evolved in so many different ways up until the point where Kevin Tancherian picked it up and started working on
the cast he mentioned. I'm like, that would have been such a funny, well They wanted a Batman Begins style choreography and
Oh, for Minx, yeah.
It was like that would have been a blockbuster. It would have made up for Annihilation's poor performance. It would have been so much fun. And I'm just so honored that people still remember your portrayal, Adoni, because like regardless of whether anyone liked or hated the new Mortal Kombat, that HBO Max just updated all the other TV shows and movies and put them on there, and Conquest looks very well remastered there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's great to watch that. And it's
You
always
don't
great
have to get the expensive DVDs or anything anymore. Now you can.
Yeah, it's so great to go back and watch. I don't think I've ever seen, or I don't remember, I guess, seeing it after so many years, and I don't remember like a lot of it. But I really enjoyed watching, watching, I guess, the Quan Chi scenes. That it's always great watching yourself and not remembering that you did something, and seeing it and saying, "Oh, that's kind of cool," That happened a lot with 24 because they would have a camera always around you, and
Yes,
you don't know what they're filming,
cameras.
and you see it, and you're like, "Oh my God, wow, that's awesome how they caught that," So
Adoni, you should tell them the story about your gloves and your sitting Quan Chi. I love that.
Yes. Oh my God.
well, again, see, you guys are talking about Quan Chi. I mean, Mortal Kombat 3 and all that. I know nothing about this stuff. I hear it from fans who write to me and say, "Are you going to be in the movie?" And I go, "What movie?" Like I don't know what's going on. I don't follow it. But,
and it's quite all right. I used to be a gamer myself. I gave it up a long time ago, and you noted before how the closest it came to games was Command and Conquer. You'd see the cutscenes,
but I've never played a game in my life ever.
Yeah.
So anyway, saying that, my first audition for this, I read the script. I read the sides, like whatever, 10 pages of maybe something like that, maybe less. And I saw that this was an evil sorcerer, so I had to create something, right? I'm going to create. This is great. I got to play a sorcerer. So I recall getting, my black leather gloves, and I put the black leather gloves on, and I may have worn something, very, I don't know. I'm sure it was black, but more like, something with some pizzazz to. I don't know what it was, and so I actually went in and I did the audition wearing gloves. And but when I went to do the audition, I sat down, and the casting people were very like, they were like, no, Donnie, this guy stands. I said, I see him sitting, and I always fight people because it's like, I worked on this. Let me do my thing. Let me create. Please, if you have a problem with it afterwards, I will adjust, but or just tell me to get lost. But let me do my thing. I've worked on this, right? I created. I can't wait to show you what I got. So they're like, yeah, but this guy. I said, you know what? Please let me sit and do it. If you don't like it,
please.
So they said, okay. So I did it, and then I said, do you want me to stand? They said, no, that's fine, Adoni. I said, okay, thanks. They said, that was great. They said, we're going to, send it off and see what they think about it. Okay, so I came into the callback, and there's Larry Kazanov. And I can see when I walked in, he was like a bit timid. Like he was like, because I came in wearing the gloves, right? He goes, hey, Donnie, I'm going to ask you, why are you wearing gloves? I said, I don't know. I just figured this guy's like an evil sorcerer. I thought the gloves would fit. And he goes, okay. He goes, we saw you sitting. It was fantastic. It was really great sitting, but we kind of see this guy stand. Do you mind standing? I said, no, I'll do it for you standing, and he goes, okay, great. So I did it standing, and then, we talked a little bit afterwards, and then, I got offered the part. So then when I arrived on the set, when I flew into, Florida, and I arrived on the set, the director comes up to me and he says, so Adoni, how do you see this guy? Is this guy sitting or is he standing? I said, honestly, to me, this guy sits unless he needs to stand for whatever reason, because he has all the power basically in the world. He doesn't need to stand until he's provoked to stand for whatever reason. He goes, I agree with you. And that's how I see it. I said, he goes, bring in that chair, bring in a chair. Now, they brought in that big chair. Now, whether that works or not when you watch it, I don't know. It looked kind of bare to me, but but I got to sit, I got to do my thing. And I didn't even know that this guy had a white face. I didn't know he had white hands. I didn't know that he had black nails. Like, I didn't know any of this. So when I walked into the makeup, they told me, they said, that drawing, they had a pencil drawing of Quan Chi. And I went, what's that? I go, that's you. I said, are you serious? Like, so then he says, yeah. He says, just sit down, close your eyes. You're going to have to close your eyes for like 2 hours. And I said, okay. So I just closed my eyes. And I remember when I opened my eyes, that's when I looked in the mirror and I went,
Yeah.
Quan Chi thing. Because that's how I felt when I saw myself, and then I just developed them from there. And it was Quan Chi from there, it was incredible. So I'd wake up in the morning with my Quan Chi voice, and I would maintain that lower register throughout the day. Whoever talked to me, I would tell them, it's hard to do when I've been talking throughout the day, but I would tell them I have to keep my voice down here. So, just, please understand, And so it was so fun. Oh my God, I love that. I wish there, now I get to play around and have some fun with my niece, but to actually play this character again would be like the greatest thing, for me.
The best part is, if they did it nowadays, given what they've done with Avatar and video games like Call of Duty, they could literally just put dots on your face and you just would be acting in a room against a green screen now in today's
that would be fun.
You wouldn't have to have 5 hours of makeup anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to be in the makeup. I want to be Quan Chi, but whatever it takes, it doesn't matter. I'll
crowdfunding or a video game.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if anybody can do even like a short
fan film.
Fan film. Exactly, a fan film. There you go, a fan film. I actually have 2 fan films I'm supposed to be doing, but the COVID is.
I think you said you were attached to like a Star Trek one.
Star Trek, and again, I'm not sure about the start, but the Supergirl one, I'm playing Lex Luthor.
Oh my God! Oh man!
That's one.
That would be. All best of luck playing that. I can't wait to see what you do with that portrayal.
Yeah, what was great about Lex Luthor is that when I looked it up, when they asked me to play the part, I looked up Lex Luthor. The first character of Lex Luthor in the comics was a redheaded, curly-haired redheaded guy. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Then we got rid of that, and from that point on, I guess the most renowned Lex Luthor was a guy that looked just like me. Exactly. Dark, bald, muscular, same eyebrows, I was like, wow, so that's cool.
Have you ever actually been mistaken in public for like the Mummy guy, Arnold Vosloo, or even Billy Zane?
It's funny. I've been around both of those guys. I've been in auditions with Arnold Vosloo, and
oh, sweet.
We both did 24. We do look kind of similar. Billy Zane, I know Billy Zane, he's a Greek actor, and so I've been to functions with him. I don't think I look like Billy Zane necessarily, but
no, but I'm just people.
No, but I was mistaken as Jean-Claude Van Damme several times.
I remember that story. I was just like,
yeah, so Jean-Claude, and he's basically the one that I couldn't fight my way out of that. They were like, no, you're Jean-Claude. I was like, I had to say no. I was like,
that
okay, what do you want me to sign? I sign, sign Jean-Claude.
Have you ever met Jean-Claude or not?
No, I've been close to. I mean, we do have kind of similar, physiques. I think I'm a little bit taller than him. I think I'm a little bit more exotic looking. I don't have a bump on my head. He's got that bump on his head. I think, that I don't know if people notice that he's got this thing, but we're both,
kind of
athletic and all that sort of thing,
If they ever make another Universal Soldier movie, well, let's call it Adoni. Reboot this bitch.
I don't know if you're on Twitter or not, but I've seen a lot of people bring up your name because they are gearing up for another Mortal Kombat movie. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people say you should come back and play Quan Chi again if he's included in this new movie. Is that something you'd be up for if you got invited to do that?
What? I would be so ecstatic if they wanted me to, but I don't think I'm even being considered for things like that.
Unfortunately, they do like to go with whoever has just been in a Marvel or James Bond movie.
Yeah, it's whoever hot at the time, and I don't want to get into all that, but I don't think they would even consider that. I think they would probably go with even someone who probably has millions of what do you call it? Instagram fans or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that sort of thing, I think, these days. So, but hey, man, I love that there's a sort of there's one guy
following.
He's got this group going for me to be Quan Chi, and hey, man, you know, you put it out there. I'm ready. I want to do it. You know.
So
even with they do like animated movies, they've done a few.
Oh, there you go.
You know, I mean, hey, you never know what they got going on over there.
I would love to do any of it. Honest to God, guys, if you have a way of doing this, you know, I tried to start doing some like voiceover stuff. I never got that going. I got the equipment, but I never got too many things have been like kind of hit me here. But I love doing voiceovers, just voiceovers. I can create so many different voices, you know. And but to do Quan Chi again, oh my God, you know.
Are you familiar now? I know you said you had never even played any of the games, right? But like working on the show and talking to people like Timo and all that, have you become a little bit familiar with like some of the characters now? Like, is there another character you would ever want to play if you had that opportunity?
I mean, I would. I don't know. Quan Chi was just so, to me, I really, you know, created that character, and it would be tough to, I don't know. Like I never, like, to me, I just don't want to be you know, a bad villain type who's just, you know, using, like, Quan Chi had nuances. He had all this stuff that was, you know, like you know, the creation of him was
very well layered villain.
Yeah, so it's like, can I do that again with another Mortal Kombat without having the inflections or something with Quan Chi? Because I got to go typically to that lower register and still create. Yeah, I'm sure I can, but it would be like this. It would be like this. If you guys have ever seen Seinfeld, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Character, the Michael, what's his name?
Michael Richards Kramer.
Michael Richards character, okay? So out there, right? It's just everything. All these amazing character. Well, he did a spin-off, not quite a spin-off. He was the lead in a TV show they started, and I actually had an audition for it.
Oh, the Michael Richards show?
Yeah, Michael Richards. It wasn't the Michael, it was he was I forget what he was, but my character would be like the landlord. And so
awesome.
Yeah, it was like it was this guy. So I had this accent, you know, playing a Greek landlord or something. So, but Michael Richards' character, I didn't get the part. But when I saw the show, I was like, oh man, it just doesn't work, because he plays a character that is similar but different, but not as crazy and not as. It's like you're giving us a half-assed version of Seinfeld. It's like, why are you doing that? You know, because
doing too much of the same. Nothing.
Like, why don't you just do what what's his name did? Frasier, right? Take that character from Cheers,
right?
And just take it right into. We would love that, you know. Be the Seinfeld character and just take him into a different realm, different time, different whatever, you know. But he went to like a sort of like a half-assed kind of character, so it didn't work, you know. And it lasted like 3 shows or something, and he took it off. And I knew it. Yeah. I knew it. It just didn't have it. It just didn't have that energy. So I wouldn't want to do a half-assed, you know, Quan Chi is what I'm saying. I wouldn't want to do something that is like, okay. Yeah,
just a cameo and nothing more.
Yeah.
Adoni, when you started working on Mortal Kombat Conquest, still extremely new. And, you know, things that you brought into the series kind of helped shaped him, like the fact that you never stood up, which made like that end battle even more epic with Quan Chi and things like that. How would you feel about playing a character that has been more fleshed out since your time of playing the character? Now that, you know, several different actors have kind of portrayed it and they've built more of a story than he had at the time of your rendition of him.
Of course, you know, the more information you have, but I could add more to it. I can add more layers, more whatever. As long as I can do my thing and create it, you know, and taking whatever they have and just, you know, molding that and steal it, make it your own and give it away with joy. That's what I would do with Quan Chi. It's like I would take whatever and I'd create my own stuff and then give it away with joy, you know. So long as to me, the incarnation of Quan Chi after I had done the character, I noticed he's got all these tattoos and whatever. I personally, I don't like it. Maybe it's because I didn't have it. I don't know, but I don't think Quan Chi needs all that, but maybe he does because I haven't read his story. I don't know. I don't follow the game. I don't follow anything about it, so, but I kind of liked it. One of the biggest compliments I would get by everybody was like, wow, you have the best outfit. You have the best look, and so it's like gilding the lily, right? It's like taking something that is to me like near perfection and then changing it for whatever reason. It's like taking a beautiful woman and then caking her with more makeup and more makeup. It's like, you already look great. You're beautiful. Why would you want too much? So that's how I see it. Like you're adding these flavors on his, tattoos and stuff. It's like, that's not, Quan Chi doesn't, I see Quan Chi a little bit different, but hey, that's me. But I would definitely take, if someone said, well, this is the information to him now, he's grown it. I would take that, but I would definitely incorporate my own stuff that people wouldn't know about. I would use my backstory and maybe never share it. Like I have never shared a lot of where my Quan Chi's come from. And I have written it down in the scripts that I have. And if people knew where he comes from, they might be really upset, or they'll be fascinated.
That's absolutely true. Because like making a character backstory, you kind of keep it to yourself. All the perks and everything.
Yeah.
You know how half the time when you get a no answer, if that's just people out of habit saying no, or they don't understand exactly what you're saying, and it's like, well, it all equates to the same thing, regardless of whether it's the writer or the portrayer.
It doesn't matter. It's like if you're acting and you need to get to an emotional level of whatever, loving someone or crying or whatever, you use whatever you need to use to get there. Now, you might be looking at the most beautiful woman in the world, but she doesn't do it for me. Maybe you think of your puppy that died, whatever, or you think of something maybe you were abused as a child. Whatever it takes to get there, the audience will never know. The audience doesn't know. As long as, you just play the role, they will feed whatever they need to feed into you for that again, to get that whatever emotion that they're getting from you. They'll put all the information in there. You don't need to give them anything. You just, you create. When you create, people will be interested, and, but they don't need to know. They don't need to know where it all comes from. I mean, you can make up a story. You can say this and that and give the basics and the generalizations of, blah, blah, blah. But the deep stuff is things that people don't really know. When I first did my first acting class, I probably told you this, Timo, the teacher made us, as part of a grade, turn in our notebooks on all the characters that we had played during that semester.
Snatcher it away.
And I told her, I said, no. She goes, well, you're going to flunk the class. I said, listen, if you want to flunk me because I don't turn in my personal stuff here, I said, you flunk me. I said, I am not turning in what I wrote down on this notebook. It's just, there's no way I'm going to do that. And I was the only one who did not turn in my notebook because I don't know. I don't think people.
You're a rule breaker. So what that's pretty much what I'm getting from this.
It's not being yes, I am a rule breaker in that sense for sure.
I don't mean it as in a bad thing. I just mean thinking outside the box.
But the point is, is Robert De Niro going to turn in his notebook?
No.
Who wants? You know what I mean? It's like that sort of thing. It's like, no, you're not going to ask Jack Nicholson the crazy things he's probably written down and shared and experienced. And, it's like, you just don't do that. So, but if you want to grade me on that, and she ended up giving me a C.
She knew you were right.
That's like Heath Ledger giving away his Joker notebook, Like,
oh yeah,
it's just that? You go to places that you don't want people to see.
You have no idea where Joaquin Phoenix went to play the Joker either. It's like, no, that's, he gets there and you feel it, but you have no idea where he's at or why he's there.
It's like a diary, There's a reason you keep it under your pillow. It's not meant to be shared with anyone. It's not.
Yeah, it's whatever makes you tick. It's whatever makes you get to that moment or create something. People can come up with whatever. So that's me with Quan Chi. It's like people don't have any idea really of how I, have gotten to this creation. And maybe one of these days it'll be something revealed, whatever. I'll auction it.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So are there still some dream roles other than, Luther and Quan Chi Return that are on your plate that you haven't been offered yet that you can do justice?
For me, right now, I just really want to do the script that I wrote with my father. That's it.
I was going to ask that. That's been in development for quite some time, right?
Yeah, it's we've been close here, close there, but right before COVID, we had a producer, interested, a money guy, and
hey, if you put up a crowdfunder, I will give a bunch of money for it.
You know what? The thing is, we did a crowdfunding years ago, and it was done so badly. That's why I couldn't do it again, because it just was set up so bad. And I had a lawyer friend call me one day. She goes, Did you look at the crowdfunding that your producers put up? And I went, No, I haven't. She goes, You better look at it, I was like,
I'm sorry.
I remember we put all this stuff up there, and I remember we got $10, and it was because we had one guy, we just wanted to see if it worked. So he gave us like $5 one time and $5 another time, and that was all the money we got. We got a lot of likes because your friends from Facebook will put, like, and probably not even look at it.
They'll say, I'll think about it, which is their way of I'll share it, but I'm not going to donate $50.
This was back, this was a while ago, and so that always sits with me. It's like, I'd rather do a few, investors or that sort of thing.
I certainly hope you can get it to come together, because the personal stories that one can tell really do make compelling movie material, and people seem to forget about it. They just want to adapt whatever sold, on the bookstore. And it's like, people want real stories. They really are getting, people will still go to the crowd-pleasing blockbusters, but they still want something that is just very...
I just think that, there's a time and place for things, and maybe it's not ready, because I don't think the world is ready to watch what me and my father put together. It's something that,
Really?
it's, I'm all about triumph of the spirit, so it's everything I've done, except maybe for Quan Chi. Might be it. I always want to have an elevating, I always wanted to make a difference in this world. Like, when I did Hidalgo, like I wanted, because I play a character with a great through line, right? He starts bad and ends up great, it's like ends up being a good guy, like thinking that maybe this will help bring, everyone together, and, the Muslim community, the Muslim world, and Christian
I think
world.
you succeeded in that. I've definitely seen that character often cited as one of the best Muslim characters in cinema.
Well, anyway, thank you, but it hasn't. What I'm saying is, we still haven't made, my dad said to me once, he said, because he was in a terrorist attack, and he didn't want to pass on hate to me. I've told that story a lot, but he said he didn't want me to have that hate. And he says, generally, people all over the world are good people, generally. But, we've had discussions, not, a few, let's say, months ago, we're not sure about that anymore. Are people generally good anymore? We're not sure.
Right. Half our friends were unfriending because their Kyles or Karens. Yeah. We found out the hard way.
There's a lot of hate. Yeah, a lot of hate out there. And it's like, so we're not really sure. But I definitely want to make a difference. And I think, that's really all
I sincerely hope you get all these other extra avenues, because, people are still recognizing you, in other stuff. I know there's some Command and Conquer fans out there, and you're going to find this funny. I was watching the finale of The Last Ship, fun blockbuster show on the small screen, and my mother's just watching this, who's that handsome guy with the binoculars, working for the binoculars? And I'm like, that's Faid from 24. Oh, nice. And it's just so funny. So I'm just so happy that you're able to, again, just have all this cult fandom. You're still doing wonders in the fitness community. Are there any live events and training seminars that you'd like to promote surrounding that?
No, I don't do that. I just have a couple of YouTube videos, and I just help people. If people
You're not
ask
doing ping pong anymore?
No, you know what? Actually, I'm entering a tournament June 3rd. Yeah, it's a Michael John tournament. I'm doing that.
Okay.
Coming up, but that's it. I didn't want to do it, but someone asked me to play doubles with them, so I realized that the doubles event, if you lose, you're done. So you can have one match and you're done. It's like an hour or some drive. I said, you know what? Let me enter, what I typically have done, and let's just do that. So yeah, that's coming up. But I'm not really
go in person as your Mortal Kombat character. You play against Johnny Cage, Team Johnny Cage, and your Team Quan Chi.
Yeah,
just like you did Team Faid years ago. You can.
Yeah, I actually wanted to do talking about that. Like I have this agent, Mortal Kombat guy. I told him, I said, when you go to these Comic Cons, why don't we set up I got a mini ping pong table, or if they have a big ping pong table, and I'll be Quan Chi playing people in ping pong. Maybe
that's how you'll get attention.
That sort of thing. Yeah, you know what I mean. Just have it set up and just play.
That'd be so fun.
Excited about it. Yeah, we haven't done it yet. We haven't. I haven't done one event with him yet.
It's long overdue.
Have you ever been to any of those? Because you like around Chicago, they always have events with the people that were in the arcade games back in the day. For a couple of years, like they were doing like a pretty big event called Combat Con.
Yeah.
And why not make it even bigger? Maybe get people from the movies or TV shows involved. If it's not stretching it too thin, but
I'm really open to all that stuff. I mean, I just love, whatever, connecting with people, talking to people, and bring people joy just by the mere fact that I'm, they see me, right? They recognize me or whatever. That's an amazing thing. I did it once. I was invited to the San Diego Comic Con, and it was when 24, they had me as Abu Fayed, and that was a blast. That was so fun. But I have not done any since. See, I'm not the kind of person, I don't feel comfortable. People go there and they set up booths and, they sell their pictures, and, if someone invites me and they want me to be there and they're going to, pay my way to get there, and that's, all that sort of thing. But I don't want to be that, get all these pictures made and, set up a booth and put up whatever. I don't. That's not me, because
I totally understand. It is a lot of work. I think it's changed a lot though. Now people can just take a photo with their iPhone now, so you don't have to sign anything. You just kind of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if someone asks me for a picture now, everybody's getting paid for it. So I'll tell them, I say, listen, it used to be where I can say, send an SASE, right? Self-addressed stamped envelope, and I'll sign the picture and just put it in the envelope and send it off to you. But now it's like, I got to, go to the post office. I don't have a secretary working for me. I got to do all this stuff. So, pay me for my time a little bit. Yeah.
Totally.
But
security is better at those conventions now. There used to be all kinds of crazy fans who just would put their hands on people, and it's like, thank God that now they do background checks. It's like, this guy is a registered gunman. We don't need him to come to the convention.
Yeah.
They didn't have. I mean, I've only been to one, which was 5 years ago, and they had it at this hotel down there in Chicago.
Oh, sweet.
And we bought our tickets, online and everything. But when we went down there, nobody checked them. They just had a big, a big cutout of Goros standing there by one of the doors, and we just walked on in. I mean, we thought, hey, we could have come here for free, but I mean, we wanted to support the event, so.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it'd be cool. I mean, I don't know how safe it is with the coronavirus and all that, but
yeah,
I just don't want to do it. If there's someone, like I said, this guy's supposed to be working things. He's talking about doing like 9 of these this year, but I don't know. We'll see.
And I know you had a buddy who you kind of let him kind of star in some of your movies. He was like a henchman in 124 episode. Do you still have some pals who you try to mentor?
I always try to get people in, always, and I've done that. I brought the guy on from Hidalgo to work the on 24 to do the Arab, dialogue and all that.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, that to me is a big part of it. I always want to help people, and I think that's what we're here for, is to lift each other up, if we can.
Right.
So, I mean,
it's so missing in this world. You're right, and it's just like we need more of it. Where people were
I did get my buddy on on 24 too. I got someone on 24.
It's such a historical commentary track. Is like, look at how he's holding that AK-47.
And, what else? Yeah, there's a few things. I can't remember. I don't really, whatever. You're bringing it up, so I'm remembering now.
I just thought it was so cool because, again, you're just so natural and you got a magnetic persona. It's awesome.
Oh, thanks. So you listen to the 24 commentary is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, because half the time it is totally like Mystery Science Theater. Everyone's making sex jokes and stuff in between. It's like, and John Cassar, the director, is great because he talks about how he, these sets that look bigger than they are way smaller, actually. And you're having to create a claustrophobic kind of feel. He's learning how to do Hitchcock on a TV budget. That wasn't easy, but it was make it or break it time for him. And
well, at the time, I think it was the most expensive show. It was like $7 million an episode.
Oh yeah. And I think people have warmed up to that season. They used to really smack talk about it because they didn't like how Jack's family was like half evil. But I think more people have warmed up to it now and found it pretty twisted and clever. So,
well, a lot of people, they tell me it's like 2 seasons of 24 and one.
It's steroid induced.
Yeah, it was like when I got killed, they're like, wow, it's like it ended and then it started up again. Like it was weird. Like people were upset about that. And I was like, yeah.
The writer's strike didn't help.
Yeah. So, but anyway.
One thing I was just thinking about is how, there's been so many different MK medias, and how, sometimes they borrow from one another. And I know you were talking on the RealmKast about like hanging out with Jamie Presley and
wasn't her big stars,
2 other young women, right? You had 3 of those servant girls.
Well, Renee Tennyson, who was my fantasy girl when I was a kid, my uncle's bathroom. I opened the Playboy magazine and I saw her. I was in love with her. And but I discovered who she was, when they shared with me that they were part of a celebrity Playboy. And I was like, what? And then they said, yeah, Adoni, we're Playboy Bunny. I was like, what? And I went, oh my God, Renee Tennyson. It's like, you're my fantasy girl.
It's obvious those 3 characters, were they had done a game called Mythologies, a Sub-Zero game, where Quan Chi was, kind of the second to main villain, and he had these like 3 girls down in the Netherrealm dressed in like the black leather and stuff, but they were different characters. They had different names, but and then in the show Conquest, they had 3 very similar characters. So I thought, it's cool how that borrowed from that game. But if I'm remembering correctly, there was an episode called Unholy Alliance of Conquest where I think Quan Chi had teamed up with Shang Tsung, right?
Yes, I remember that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then then they made the game Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance a few years later, where that was like the main plot of that game was Quan Chi and Shang Tsung working together. So, and then they had like different names in the show, you know what I mean? But they were obviously inspired by that game.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad they had, they were inspired by Playboy magazine. That's what I'm glad they were inspired by.
And it was it kind of fun kind of seeing who would come up with more evil dialogue each episode?
No, I wasn't like that.
Sometimes they'd give you a kind of a venomous remark and you'd be like, of course you'll say that.
No, I mean, I think I out-villainous them, if that's what you're saying. I think I had more of the villainous.
You just had more lines,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, think about it. You know, I really want to. I forget the name of the guy who was my stunt double. He was amazing. He was absolutely amazing. And
I know John Braver doubled you on 24.
Braver, yeah, but
he worked on that show.
Yeah, no. This guy was he was like a gold medalist in the Olympics. Like quite a few of those people. Dana, he was a gold medalist in.
Right. She's in Batman Forever, and you're like, whoa, and she's on all these other shows, and you're like, but she's an Olympian.
yeah, it's amazing. So, but I want to shout out to that guy, and I don't know his name. I can't remember his name, and I actually went on IMDb to look him up, and I couldn't find him for some reason.
That was what was always a shame. They would never credit half the makeup and stunt people on TV, and sometimes they forget, so they don't put it on their IMDb.
Yeah, exactly. So, but
we'll find out sooner or later. It's got to be on the Wicca or whatever. Who doubled Quan Chi on Conquest?
Yeah, I was gonna put it out there on Facebook. I was like, who doubled?
Let me know. There's a lot of stunt people on Facebook, so I'm sure you could find it sooner or later. Maybe even just make it a random question of the day is like, show a photo of them, someone will recognize them.
Yeah, I'm sure. I probably could just ask it. I was just kind of
running. Was it Gary Ray Stearns? Does that sound familiar?
That does sound familiar, yeah.
It might have been him.
Yeah.
Wasn't he doubling also the hero and like a bunch of other people, like Henchman of the Week?
Oh, probably. Usually these stunt guys that get dressed up as
like 5
as everybody.
Characters.
Yeah.
They don't have to keep it straight. They just have to remember the movement. You know?
Right.
Quan Chi jumps this way. The hero does kicks and then followed by a punch.
Give them a wig and they're whoever you want them to be. So
what's his name again?
Gary Ray Stearns. I think that might have been.
I think you're right. I think I definitely recall him being at like a Mortal Kombat Facebook group, I think.
Yeah, I think he was one of the stunt doubles on Conquest. I just don't know if he did Quan Chi for sure or not.
Well, I just remember when he, if it was him, if he did it, like people would say to me, my God, Adoni, when you get angry as Quan Chi, your ears flare out. And I said, no, it's not. Those aren't my ears. What do you mean? I said, that's not me. That's the stunt double. This guy's amazing. I said, I can't do all those flips and things like that. People actually thought that was me. Yeah.
People think can actually fly.
Well, I know, Cam, you're familiar with Cynthia Rothrock.
Yeah, all the Kung Fu greats. And you mentioned Sammo Hung earlier.
Yeah, and, it's like, she did quite a few films in Hong Kong back in the 80s. And, there would be shots where it was a Hong Kong stuntman and he had to put on like a blonde wig and like a skirt, to double her for the kick or something.
Oh, wow.
It would not match up. You're just like, I can tell. It's just that before we had, DVD players even, and everything was digital and you could correct it. It was like, yeah, I mean, I've seen Charles Bronson do it too. You see him on this train fight in this one Western, and you're just like, that guy does not look anything like Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Are there any heroic or anti-hero roles you've been offered lately?
Well, I told you.
Dream job.
Just the two that I told you about.
Just those two. Okay. Yeah. I totally, I saw you on the Taken show and I was like, yeah, I mean, you're in this and Lazarus Rising. You should totally be in a revenge movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, there is another thing that I don't know how much I don't think I can talk about it, but
oh dear. Okay.
Another fan film that I'm involved with, and very interesting character. That's all I'm going to say. Very, very interesting. So it's one of those where I can kind of do whatever I want, and probably won't be recognized at all with all the makeup and all that it's going to take. So yeah, so we'll see.
I hope that's a safe film and get some social media hits. So
yeah,
I just looked you up on Instagram, Adoni, and I see you got Carrie Hoskins as a follower. Do you actually know her or not? She played Sonya in MK3, the game.
Oh, I just met her because she's represented by this agent who represents the Mortal Kombat people at these Comic-Cons. That's
okay. Yeah. Because she's been kind of more active again. I noticed, like I mean, we met her at one of those Comic Con or Combat Cons rather in Chicago, but
Yeah.
like I noticed like she's doing a lot of stuff again these days. Like she's like putting on the old costumes from like the game that she wore in Mortal Kombat 3 and stuff. So
yeah, I know
I didn't
she's
know if-
done, like I know she's done these cons, these Comic Cons, things like that. She seems like a really nice lady. I know that she has, I believe, if that's the same person. Again, I'm really bad with names. I think she has a couple kids.
Yeah.
That have some, some sort of issue, right?
Yeah, that's her. Yep.
Yeah. So, I think she reached out to me because of that, because she saw I was a type 1 diabetic, and she kind of related to the trials and tribulations of, growing up with and overcoming things. I think that's why she reached out and said hello to me.
Oh, that's cool.
Very nice.
Yeah. But I really haven't talked to her since. I know that she does, these things, and I would like to meet her. I'd like to go to one, but I haven't been to one yet. So we'll see.
You live out in LA or what city?
Yeah, I'm in the Valley, Los Angeles County.
Nice.
Yeah, in my beautiful home. Which I was considering selling because all the money I can get from selling my home. But then again, I thought, where would I move to? I can't get it.
Right. Work 5 times as hard.
Yeah, seller's market, but not a buyer's market. So.
From someone who does mobile security, make sure you don't sell it to Open Door. They won't even give you what it's worth.
Oh yeah.
It'll just be like, it's like Uber for houses. They'll be like, okay, 2,000 and you're out of here. And you're like, wait a minute. No.
Yeah, exactly. So,
so thank you ever so much. It's been great to just hear again, inspiring persona and someone who's just got all this joy in this chaotic time and so many fond memories. It's been great going down this rabbit hole of.
I do my best, but can someone wake up Timo? I think I heard him snoring over there. Is it?
I think you knocked him out after your last Quan Chi kick.
Actually, Adoni, before we go, do you mind just kind of going over your life motto about moving and kind of getting outdoors and just how it helped you with how it helped you out with your diabetes and everything?
To me, my motto has been, I think is love, laughter, and fitness. Right? Mm-hmm. Surround yourself with love, people that love you, and whatever things you love, and just love and laughter, big part of it, and fitness and movement is a big part of. To me, I've always known that movement is so important, and that's, I remember they used to have, people getting heart surgery, and they would keep him in the hospital for like 2 weeks, bedridden.
Total mistake. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of those people die because of that. And now they get them out right away. And like, I've always known that. Even when I'm sick, I try to move, no matter what. Only one time that I couldn't, when I had West Nile virus meningitis, where I just could not move. I couldn't stand. I couldn't do anything. And I was in the hospital for 5 days. But, when you can move. Even like when you're injured, just move your body. Just move
1,000%.
Just keep the blood flowing. Keep everything flowing.
My father did this with his mother. He did physical rehab with her every day, and she would always try to cop out on it. And he's like, you're not getting anything until we walk around the pool 5 times,
If you don't use it, you lose it. That's the way it is.
Lose it. And like you say, it's just a little small thing, and everyone else likes to say, I'll just eat better. I'm like, you still gotta just run for a bit,
Well, let me say this, like in my home, I have a recumbent bike and I have a stepper machine. Now the recumbent bike was not expensive at all. It was like $200 some dollars or whatever. And the stepper was free because I had someone who stayed with me for a while. They let me have it. It's this old stepper, but it does the work, And for me, when my blood sugars get high, I ride the bike, or I do that, or I got a little bit of weights in here. People always make excuses for not working out, right? Mm-hmm. And I tell them, you get a recumbent bike, you just sit back, relax, and watch your favorite show, favorite movie, and you get a workout in 20 minutes or an hour.
You lose nothing.
Just move, just get up and move your body. So I have pull-up bars in here. I got other things, but you don't need anything. You just, you can do, squats, or you can do aerobics. You can do whatever. Get up, walk around, walk up steps, whatever. Whatever you need, you can do. Like, just create it and do it and move. Because to me, that's the key. And people always ask me, like, they'll say, wow, you look the same as you did, whatever, your physique. And like, well, I'm working out every day. And, it's always, people always say, well, I work out 3 times a week. Well, that's great. But why don't you work out 7 days a week? Just get out there and do something for 20 minutes, something, just move. So
that's so true. And it's like everyone gives them all this advice, but they don't want to really listen unless it's like some mascot, if they're in an ESPN commercial or they're advertising a total gym type thing. It seems like everyone wants to only listen to someone if they're famous or a religious figure. And you're just like, the best advice, like you say, is your friends and family who can encourage you every day and you implement what you know.
Just move, man. Just move. Get your body flowing and moving. And there's no excuse for that. To me, it's,
right.
Anybody can just watch TV and whatever. Just keep, walking in place. Do something. Do something. So is that what you were looking for, Timo?
Exactly.
I thought I heard you snoring there, so I wasn't sure.
I had to get up and move a little bit. I'm just kidding.
You took his breath away a second.
All right. Well,
thank you, Adoni. You kicked ass here tonight, and we could all just do a deep dive with you.
All right. Anyway, it was a pleasure, guys. I don't know, Cameron, if I saw you on the street, or Mark, you got to come up and remind me who you are. Timo, I hope I would remember you.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm just a podcast host. Mark's just an MK fan who suggested this concept, and
all right.
I thank you for trusting us. I know.
I just want to say this: if Timo, you see me, just come up, give me a big hug.
Oh, you know it.
But Mark and Cameron, if you do that, you're going to get punched right in the face. So don't ever trust that. Okay?
I'll make sure I have the movie contract in front of me before you punch me. Adoni, I got a great role for you, and it's not a role you've ever played before.
All right, you guys. Nice hanging with you.
Donnie, great talking to you again.
Thanks a lot, Adoni.
All right, you're welcome. You're welcome, Mark.
You made our night. Yeah, and I hope we inspired you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. All right, have a great night. I'll see you.
All right,
you too.
We'll return after these messages.
Hey, feeling down? Feeling low? Not enough podcasts about movies in your life? Why not try?
They must be destroyed on sight.
The new Podcast Cure-All, sure to get you right with the world and on a path to better living. We have exploitation, we have Italian horror, we have zombies, we have slashers, we have crime films, we have spaghetti westerns, we even have sci-fi and sex comedies. So take a dose of...
They must be destroyed on sight.
As needed, and let the hosts, Lee Russell, Daniel Harper, Paul Romali, and the odd guest host cure what ails you.
Warning, may cause atrophy, African consumption, black fever, bone shave, chin cough, colic, cramp colic, dropsy of the brain, elephantitis, grocer's itch, jaundice, mania, miasma, mortification, palsy, Pott's disease, rheumatism, scurvy, St. Anthony's fire, summer complaint, and worm fit in some people. Consult a physician before listening.
Did you ever see a film at such a young age it left you traumatized with cinematic wounds? Necrophilia. It's a dead issue, man. Don't push it. Cinema Psyops is a weekly podcast documenting an ongoing experiment on the mind of an unwilling test subject.
No one should have to watch this movie.
Oh, no one should have to watch this?
No one should have to watch this movie.
Surprisingly, it's not a topic that a lot of people really want to tackle.
I'm shocked, prudes.
I know, really.
Right?
It's the next sexual frontier that no one wants to explore.
I am, in the most sincerest of senses, disappointed in you.
It takes a powerful goddess like Connie, jam her arm down the monster's throat and kill it. Oh, I'm still tripping out over that. Even as a kid, I was like, I gotta find a girl like that. Every week, I get a new look of disappointment that I never thought I could get out of it.
Unimaginable. At 12 years old, you should not be watching this movie.
Obviously.
At 13, you should not be. 14, you shouldn't be. I'm not entirely sure even 17-year-olds should be watching this movie.
Just because you're offended by something doesn't mean that you have the right to demand that it doesn't exist. watching this film again, I had all of this like little nerd glee with everything that kept
little
popping
history doll popping up
absolutely.
at you.
So I totally loved this film.
Hey, I know why you couldn't see that. It's because your brain's warped watching this shit at 12 years old.
Yeah, this is a rough movie. I told you ahead of time when we were getting ready to do it that it was
How
going to be
could
a
you
rough
watch
one.
this shit at 12?
Because physical wounds heal, cinematic ones don't. Listen to Cinema Psyops.
Hey everybody, I'm Corey.
And I'm Zach, and we're the hosts of Podcasting After Dark, a cast dedicated to late-night horror and sci-fi of the 80s and 90s, often found on HBO and Cinemax.
You know, the movies your parents didn't want you watching as a kid. You can find us every other week on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and Stitcher.
This is what you want.
This is what you get.
Greetings, friends. My name is Dean Legiro, and I'm the host of the 3324 podcast. I invite you to join me and my lifelong friend Eric Kuber to come with us as we discuss the music and movies that shaped our life. Each week, we'll pick an album or film that we really connect to, and not only give you some great info and trivia, but also discuss, debate, and celebrate what it means to us and the journey it took us on. We also look forward to hearing from you and giving us some of your picks for us to check out and discuss. I think it'll be a really fun experience, so come along with us for the ride. You can find us on your favorite podcast provider and at 3324.buzzsprout.com. Thanks for your time, and welcome to the 3324 family.
It's time, let's check our cue, baby. Pair it with a couple brews, baby. We love good movies. We love the bad ones too. So we watch them all and pass their lessons on to you. Oh yeah. Everything I learned from movies helps to make life a little bit groovy. With a one-last plot holes of gratuitous movies. It's time to get busy with your friend Steve and Izzy. At eilfm.podbean.com.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a